And all my cars, they have one sticker at the end of the bumper that says for Paul. Let's talk about Paul. Paul Walker, actually he's the embodiment of the generation that we were living in, especially with the car enthusiasts that we were. And his death, it just shook me. I was devastated. Expo 2020's bid got passed and Dubai was the host nation. And I think that same week Paul passed away. One, I was broke. I had too much extra expenses to sort out. But I just decided that, you know what, one day I'm going to give this guy a tribute from my side for what he has done for the car culture and the car community that started. So I started a journey where I got those same cars that he drove in the movies. At least because I think till Fast 4, it's quite realistic. But after Fast 4, from Fast 5 onward, it's way out of the league, you know. I don't see submarines and cars jumping in real life. And Paul was out of them in 3 of the movies. I actually had 4 of them. I had the Eclipse, 95. I got the Supra, 93. I got the Evolution, 2004. And I got the 99 Skyline. All of them different. And it was all stages in life. The main goal, let's say the 5-year or 10-year plan, was to give a tribute to Paul. Not make replicas exactly, but then give him a tribute that says, even though you're gone, there's someone who still remembers you. But there's someone who looks at those cars and it reminds him that, you know, this is why I started, because it was the Paul's cars that made me start liking cars. And I'll give you a breakdown of how I got those cars. The Eclipse story was, it was a 95 GXR 5-speed manual. It was all-wheel drive, and I got that car off a friend. He had it, was trying to sell it, no one was buying it. I bought the car from him at a pretty good price. The Supra story is a very interesting one. I did a Toyota Yaris turbocharged who lives out of the country in Africa. So the car had to be shipped down there. So we were done, we got the car done, tuned it, sorted it out. I had a couple of payments left with the guy who gave me the job. And he doesn't pay me up, and it's a very small amount, it's a very negligible amount, but I being me, I need to get this amount from him. So he used to have a garage through whom I got this car. The Yaris delivery is done, it's given, the cargo is left. Now what happens is, I can't get a hold of this guy. I'm like, you have to pay my remaining amount. What's wrong with you? Where are you? And he says, you know, I will pay tomorrow, today. It doesn't happen. I get a hold of this guy in Umal Queen, finally. And he goes like, Arbab, I don't have money. I sold the garage. I'm poor. I'm like, no, I need my remaining balance. He said, I have a car. Will you like to, take this car instead of money? I said, which car? And he said, come, I have a farmhouse. I'll show you. So we ended up going to the farmhouse. This is a small box made type. You go to there, and what I find is there is a Supra 93, no bonnet, it's completely rusted, roof is rusted, no front windscreen, no door, no panel, the dashboard inside has parts missing, and it has a spoiler. So I'm like, what do I do now? So just look at my friend and I look at me, and he's like, don't even think, I don't want to know, take the fucking car. Just take it, we'll do anything and everything with it. We go ahead, bring the tow truck, the diff is locked, the tires are punctured, the rims are basically broken. Pull the car out, get in the recovery, get it there. We were lucky that when this car got imported, whenever it got imported, the VCC paper was still available. It took more than a 3 months process to get hold of everything, to get everything in pieces. And 3 months, I just sit in front of the Supra and I'm like, I don't know how I got you. I do not believe myself that I got so lucky. And then comes Evolution story. So those days I used to bid in Copart a lot. So I got the Evo. It came in front of me. Now the problem with the Fast 2 Evo was there was no color code available online at those times. So I had to mix a couple of colors to get that shade from Paul Walker's Fast 2. So one of the early Fords in the 60s or 70s had this color code, and I managed to get the color code in, sort that out, and then I went and I started painting the car on 31st December 2018. 31st night, people were enjoying and partying and with their loved ones and whatnot, and I was in the paint booth painting my car, giving it brushes, talking to it, asking it, I know what trouble this car for the past 2 years has gone through. I do this, I paint, and I see Paul's vision. It's coming, the vision that I had all these years ago, it's coming in front, it's coming to life. beautiful. Like 10 minutes before 12, that's when I left. And on my way back home, there was all this fireworks and all. Didn't care. I'm making sure my vision is coming true. In between this, I got the Nissan Skyline. Took it off a friend. It had a lot of history with me. There were nights and days that I was going through hell and back with this car. And it is the love that I can speak about. Because even before Paul Walker, I loved this car. It was my poster. That blue Skyline will be mine. And I got it in the same color. So Skyline was always the love of my life. It's something that I'm very lucky to own. R34, R26, upgraded injectors. Yeah, everything is done in my garage. And road race performance tuned by Michael. They tuned our car. After that, since then, the Skyline is something that I drive with pride and joy. And like I always get offers for my cars. I got offered the 2020 Supra. The booking was done, and it was on the entire amount was paid. And I was supposed to give him my Skyline and take the registration, the booking, the title for the Supra, and just go and take the Supra from there. But nah. Because it's this Paul story that's behind me. And I have this old guy who comes to the garage at times, and he used to have one of the Skylines, and till today's day he regrets selling the car. He says that since I sold my car in early 2000s, I feel a part of me has died. One thing I do when I go to shows with them is I take a step back, I look at the bigger picture, I take a step back, zoom out, I just sit behind. And everyone who passes by and they see, this is Paul's car, this is Paul, this is Fast and Furious. And they don't know the guy behind it. I'm just another guy, I'm just sitting behind looking at the cars. They have no idea. They do video, they do vlogs. I get that joy and happiness that I am making people relive their memories of Fast and Furious and Paul Walker. That was the goal when I started it. And Alhamdulillah, today I've reached it. It's like a cycle of my life that has completed. These three are what I started with, what I wanted to see as the Paul's collection, as I call it. And all my cars, they have one sticker at the end of the bumper that says for Paul. So no matter where he is now, that's a saying that I really like, that every time you hear a thunder, that is Paul starting his Skyline. It just affects me in ways I can't explain. And again, a huge respect to that guy for what he has done for the car community, not only in UAE, around the world. So whenever I get a chance, people come and say, why this colors? I say somewhere he might be seeing and saying, this guy still remembers me. This is how I've given my tribute to him.
Oh, really fucking fight back.